The house had been in the Peterson family for 4 generations, which was partly why Amelia and Leo decided to buy it. It was charming and had a great deal of history. The real estate agent even handed them a thick photo album when they closed the deal. But there was one thing the agent didn't tell them. The walls whispered. It started subtly, like the wind sighing through the cracks in the old house. Then they began to make out words. They would be sitting in bed at night, and the walls would murmur secrets from long ago. "Did you see her hair? It was the color of sunset," a woman's voice sighed. "I haven't seen her smile so much in years," another said. They found it fascinating. Over time, they learned that these were the voices of the previous owners, the Petersons, and their friends. They were hearing snippets of their conversations, carried on the drafts that moved through the house. It was as if the house itself was sighing with contentment, remembering its favorite moments. There were 3 voices in particular that stood out: a mother, a daughter, and a son. They heard them laughing, talking about their day, planning parties. And because the house was filled with nooks and crannies, each room had its own personality. In the kitchen, they would hear recipes being exchanged, the clatter of pots and pans, and sometimes an angry word or two when the oven wouldn't cooperate. Then there were the whispers in the bedroom. The couple who had lived there before, the ones whose wedding photo hung over the fireplace, their voices seemed to linger here the longest. And while the whispers were mostly kind and funny, occasionally something unsettling would creep in, like the sound of raised voices or hushed threats. One afternoon, while dusting the tops of the bookcases, Leo brushed against a loose floorboard, and it gave way beneath him. He fell through into the narrow space between the floorboards. It was pitch black, and he could feel the draft from the vents rushing past him. He called out to Amelia, but his voice echoed back at him strangely. Then he heard something else, a whisper right by his ear. "Don't listen to the walls," it said. "They only tell secrets to those who can't keep them." Leo froze. Was that the daughter? But she should be dead. He climbed out of the hole and brushed the dirt off his clothes. He looked around, suddenly aware of how many eyes were watching him, judging him from the portraits on the walls. Were they really just gossiping about him? That night, while lying in bed, Leo told Amelia what he'd heard. "It's just an old house, love," she said, kissing his shoulder. "It has a few tricks to keep things interesting." But he couldn't shake off the feeling that they were being watched, judged by unseen eyes. Then the whispers turned menacing. "Tell us your secrets," they hissed. "We know what you did in the garden shed." He and Amelia looked at each other, confused. They had never revealed their secrets to anyone. But then they remembered the previous owners, the Petersons. There had been rumors about them in the town. The husband had been abusive, the wife had run away, and the son had confessed to some terrible crime, although no one knew what it was. The whispers grew louder. "Tell us your secrets. We want to know what's in the shed." They tried to ignore it, but the whispers wouldn't stop. Every time they entered a room, they'd have to listen to the walls telling their tale. And now it wasn't just their own secrets they were whispering, but the sins of others. Desperation clawed at Amelia. She wanted to leave, but Leo wouldn't budge. "This is our home," he told her. "We're not going anywhere." She understood. This house wasn't just a building. It was filled with memories. Even though some of those memories were painful, they were also beautiful. The voices were getting louder now, and she could feel the vibrations in the floorboards beneath her feet. "Tell us your secrets," they demanded, "or we'll tell everyone yours." And that's when Amelia and Leo knew they had no choice. They packed a bag and left the house. As they drove away, they could still hear the whispers, but now they were fainter. They had taken all the secrets with them. In the end, the house was silent. It took a few weeks, but eventually they sold it. Years later, they were looking through old photo albums when they came across the house. "Remember that place?" Leo asked, smiling sadly. Amelia nodded. Some places hold too many memories, she thought. Sometimes it's better to let the whispers stay in the walls.